Good morning, everyone. Welcome to episode 9. I wanted to start this off with just some breathing. Just allow yourself to just be. I want you to just take 3 breaths with me here. In through your nose. Pause. Exhale. One more. Pause. Exhale. One more nice breath here. Pause. Exhale. And I want to welcome you this morning. Is he going to talk? I want to welcome you into this space today. I have chills just with the allowing of the moment, elongating the moment. The brain wants to jump in and label, race, chase, strive, drive. And every time I get ready for this show, I'm continually taught. I get the lesson every single time because my brain is racing. And, well, it's to some degree. And it's about allowing. And so it's interesting. This show is even a paradox, by the way, because the whole goal today is inner stillness. And inner stillness is the vacuum. And I'm going to talk about the courage of inner stillness. But at the same time, I'm sharing thoughts and concepts. So everything is a paradox. Every truth is a half truth. Everything in life has an equal and opposite energy or manifestation. And so do we. And what we're doing with this show is we are allowing a heightened state of awareness, a perspective that transcends all human thought and understanding. And I want to greet you this morning. And we're going to co-create. We're going to co-create something magical today. But the download that I'm going to greet every single person here this morning. This is going to go up on Apple Podcasts too, so I'm be conscious of that. But the download was, is there a language that transcends language? Is there a language that transcends language? You can answer that in the chat. And what I mean is, like, have you ever gotten a feeling, a premonition, an instinct? You couldn't understand it. You couldn't explain it in thought terms and even in words. But then something happened in the physical realm that allowed you to gain perspective. And it was like a wow moment. So the idea is, if there's a language that transcends the words and the sounds of language, this is going to really hit home for you, because it did for me. Then there's a part of you that transcends the labels, the thoughts, the who you are. So if there's a language that transcends language, in terms of, when I say language in the terms of the way we know it, then there's a deeper part of you that transcends the thought forms that you've identified with in your mind. Does that resonate? Does that open something up? Does it unlock, unleash? All knowing, all being, omnipresent, the infinite is right now. We had this yesterday. And by the way, this show is 99% unplanned. There's some things I need to like form in my mind when I'm getting ready for it, but then I just need to let it go. And I want this to be a metaphor for you too, because there's just a point where we need to let go. And I've had the greatest lessons. Thanks to every one of you. I love you so much. Thank you for stepping into this space, allowing me to do this and to use nature as a catalyst, because I can't do it by myself. You know, I'm one expression, and I'm going to give you some of the lay of the land here. I got a surprise for you today, and that I did plan. So there's a couple things that are planned, and I want to grab your shares, and I want to do that right now, just because I really appreciate you all being here today. And Mandy, gratitude. Let gratitude open up in your heart, pour out. Good morning, Michelle. And it's about living life fully right now. That the low level disease for me was my life was caught up in the future. That I can't live life fully right now until it's a low level disease. And then I realized this is life right now. So whatever I'm doing right now is expanding in the now. It's not getting to that place and then I'm okay. It's cultivate, allow and cultivate, allow and cultivate, and express and embody, and knowing that whatever experience, whatever feeling, whatever emotion arises in the present moment, we are already equipped to handle it. Good morning, Ivy. Pooja. Welcome, Pooja. I've enjoyed watching your journey. Thank you for being here today. And I do want to theme this with inner stillness. Inner stillness. I'm not going to show you how to get there. We're going to provide perspective that allows it, an environment that allows it for you today. Perfectly poised with the roots. Little different view for you today. The river is this way, and I am going to share that with you. I have a video I'm going to share here in a moment. We're going to pause and breathe, and I think now is a good time to do that. So if you're just joining, this is less, not more. But in focusing on less, you live more. You live more fully now. It's the emptying and the fulfillment. I'll use a couple labels here, but in Buddhism, it's the emptying. It's the emptying. It's the emptying. In Christianity, for example, it's the fullness. But it's in the emptying, pure presence, that I find fullness of life. Again, paradox. So let's just pause and breathe here for a moment. I'm going to flip this around for you right now. So if you want to grab the visual, you can do that. And the idea of the pause and breathe, let me just give you some context on pause and breathe. So pause and breathe is something that developed, that you don't have to sit for an hour meditation, that your life is happening. And while life is happening, I want you to take this with you. That inner stillness can be found. Peaceful power can be found throughout life and when it matters most. And that's what we do. So what we practice here today, we can take this for the week, and we can bring the awareness so that when stress comes in, pressed, to-do list, person attacks you, you don't know what to do, you're confused, we can grab this pause and breathe. So let's do it right now. Again, you can close your eyes if you want. You can, I'm going to flip the computer around here so you can take a visual. Whatever feels right for you, do that, okay? So let's just pause and breathe. touches my soul. It is well with my soul. Do you hear? Check in with yourself. What do you feel? What do you sense? Can you allow the thoughts to just pass through with each breath, void of any should-haves, could-haves, would-haves? Just a spaciousness, just a pure open space, like a big open river like this. And it's subtle, it's powerful, it's stillness. And like I said yesterday, I'll do this today. Like maybe you want to offer up a silent prayer. Maybe you just want to be still. Maybe you just want to pause and breathe. Good morning, Dana. It's the language of energy. It's the language of energy. It transcends language. It's the language of all knowing. It transcends the human thought language that we know. Because if you took all language away and all labels, you would still be there. You would physically still be there. Who would you be without the past thoughts of history of who you are, of who you're supposed to be? What if you took all that away? You would just be pure as this moment is. And that's what nature reminds us of. It's just pure. It just is. And we need to connect to that just being, the ability to just be, inner stillness. And can we use labels but not be attached to labels? Love transcends language. Love is the energy of all. So check in with yourself if you want to share. Your shares are valuable to me because it helps. We're co-creating this space. And because we're doing it live, I can do that. Welcome in the sounds of nature. We observe. See if you can observe without labeling something, without forming some kind of a judgment or an opinion of it. Flow and let it be. Yes, Michelle. Flow and let be. I think this is powerful. Like, the greatest joy and relief and inspiration happened for me when I grasped the present moment years ago and have built upon it ever since. Amen. Mandy, thank you for that. It's the present moment. We had Gordon on here yesterday. He shared, like he was in tears because the present moment is so powerful. Power of pure presence. When you're present, you're allowing life. You are embracing life. I had a moment in the Grand Canyon where I was caught up in the dark. Getting back up, it was dark in the Grand Canyon, and I looked up at the stars, and I was just welled up, teared up, just completely overwhelmed with the moment, the power of that present moment. And now every moment may not be as dramatic as that, but there's power in the present if we are able to allow and maybe embrace. Hello, Sani. Glad you're here this morning. Just allowing this to unfold. Pooja saying, I needed to hear this today. A reminder for me to listen to that voice, my intuition, and the voice of divine and universe, and be still. And it's always flowing. That's the good news. It's always flowing. It's our unaware attachment to thoughts and identities that cause us problems. And I pray that this show is a wake up for somebody that what has been doesn't have to continue. If there's a point in life where things need to change. And let me talk about the most courageous thing you can do. The most courageous thing you can do is to step into the vacuum of not knowing. Like I said, if we took away all thoughts and identities and histories and worrying about the future, you would still be here. This is like the clean canvas that you can start again. I had a profound thought this week that, if I looked at every thought, every emotion that I've had to this point in my life, if it was a physical, like it built something, it would be like a physical thing, right? So if I built that, there's a dragonfly here. And let's say I didn't like the build. Let's say I didn't like the home. Would I live in it or would I go build something else? Well, every thought, every emotion that you've had that you've poured into the present moment, whether consciously or unconsciously, intentional or unintentional, has built the life that you have. And what we're doing with the show is we're creating the vacuum. It's the clean canvas. But if I'm not able to look at that, if I want to grab from the past and try to build something new, I need to open up and allow a new perspective and a new distinction that happens when we pause. We step out of that energy of we must continue to strive and drive. And then just be still. All right, I'm gonna share something with you now. Normally I wait to do this, but I just feel like let me do this now because I want to give you the context. Good morning, Sarah. Glad you're here. Duchess DJ Love, thank you so much for being here. Our sponsor. I'll be talking about that here at the half past the hour. Love you. Sending you all some love. I'm learning daily to be present and truly just being. That's me too. Me too. Me too. That's why I'm doing this show. All right, let me see if I can pull this off for you. I want to share something with you. And what I want you to do is I just want you to observe. Just observe, just allow. And let's just see what comes up. See if you can just allow, don't try to get there. Just observe. All right, let's see if we can do this. And then I'll come back and we'll talk more about, or I'll share more about that. And we'll do some more pauses, allow the moment to unfold. And then we're going to see what's arising in your present moment. I'm just honored to be here with you today, and let's just do this. Here we go. Let's see if this comes. And when I do this, if there's any delay in sound or video, let me know, okay? All right. Wow, I wanted to share that with you now. I'll upload that so you can see it. That's the bonus footage of this location. This location has some significance for me, maybe not on a grand scale. I'm on the Delaware River. I'm in Cinnaminson. It's called Taylor Wildlife Wildlife Preserve. Not well traveled. I'm the only one here, other than some residents that have homes along the river. You saw the goats. And the irony of this place is that I grew up maybe about mile or two this way. So if we went like a mile or two that way, and Amico Island State Park would be up that way too. That's the one that I had broadcasted at before. So I used to, when I was younger, we would go down to the river and do all kinds of things. So has significance for me. But what I didn't know, this Taylor is a big name around here. There's an organic farm where I came from. There's also I guess I'll call it a rest station for the monarch migration. So the monarch butterflies will stop here at some point in their migratory journey to go back to Mexico. As many of you know, they migrate, and that's an incredible story there, where how they migrate, and their offspring make the same journey. And I won't get into all the details, but what's super cool about the monarchs is that they make the journey, and the offspring make the journey, and they go back to the exact same location, and they've never traveled it before. So imagine, think about that. Like, the offspring have never taken the journey, but they take the journey, they make the migration, and they get to the destination that their parents or grandparents, whatever you want to say, where we're located. Therein it goes again, the language that transcends language. You can't explain that, but somehow it happens. And this is the power of allowing and understanding that your labels are good, words are good, thoughts are good, but if we're obsessed. And you know what I was thinking? This is like the cycle. Intermittent fasting. It's a big trend right now. Intermittent fasting, where you go like 16 hours without eating, and it allows the body to reset. This is like psychological intermittent fasting, if you will, allowing yourself to just be and reset. So let me grab your shares. I am going to stand up and do a walk break. I probably should have done it there, but I'm going to do it. But we'll do a pause and breathe. I'm going to give a shout out to our sponsor. Wow, I'm listening real close now. I have a monarch butterfly tattoo. There you go. And so the monarch has a knowingness for its migration, even though it's never traveled it before. And I think there's a great, powerful metaphor in that. Where this ties together is, I said, the greatest courage is to step into the unknowingness. What if I don't know who I am right now? What if I don't know what the future holds for me right now? What if, and what if I can let go? What if I can have the courage to step into the vacuum and know that vacuum is for me to trust something that's at a deeper level that I can't quite put into words? I always said the divine has put an imprint on your soul that is unique to you. It's your unique expression in the universe. And I really believe that our journey is to express that. It's to transcend the noise. It says in the Bible to be in the world, but not of the world. But we need the world because we need the perspective. We need the track to run on. And that's where we allow. It's not absence of adversity. It's not eliminating problems. It's transmuting them. It's allowing them, embracing them, and transmuting them, because it's in your DNA. Just like nature knows the way home, you know the way home. You know the way to and that way home is what's true to you. It's 10:30. It's half past the hour. I want to give a shout out to our sponsor here. the show is sponsored, and I really appreciate that. So let me do that for everybody right now, because a lot of this was fueled from my studying Eckhart Tolle over many years, amongst other things. And so I finally made a decision against all adversity, obstacles that I had. I was going to go to Eckhart Tolle retreat. It wasn't the right time, the funding to get out there, but I did it anyway. And it was part of my journey. It's like it was the language that I couldn't understand. My thoughts were telling me no, but my something deeper was telling me yes. And I think there's a story for Duchess DJ Love. She saw me there. She said, I need to talk to this person. I don't know why. And then she had an opportunity to talk. We talked. And she said, when I launched this show, she said, I want to sponsor you. I believe in what you're doing. And she has a great message too, with using travel to bring people into the moment. And she travels like a royal. That's why she says gallivanting like a royal, because she's learned how to find the ways to travel and find the high-end experiences, even if you're on a budget. And she's all about love. She's all about bringing love and presence through travel. So just please connect with Duchess DJ, if you will. She's an amazing, amazing person. So glad that she decided to sponsor the show, and just glad that she's a part of this journey. And also, she said we need to do the first Power of Pure Presence International Conference. So we are contemplating that. But I'm laughing in myself. I'm thinking, oh, we'll just sit around. Everybody will be sitting around. But truthfully, it'll be a magical experience, because we'll be in the moment, and we'll trust what arises in the moment, as we do here. So I'm going to pause for a moment. I want you to pause and just think about, there's something going on behind me. But take a moment to just see if you can connect with some inner stillness. I'm going to invite you to breathe. If you want, I think there's a scuffle behind me with the birds. Wow, they're coming in. So I'm going to flip around, or I'm just going to leave it here because these birds are going crazy. So do whatever you feel. Find your breath. Find inner stillness. Whatever thoughts come up, just let them go. If you want to close your eyes, do that. If you want to close your eyes and listen to nature for a bit, do that. If you want to open your eyes and just look at the birds, surroundings, do that. I just want to invite you to pause and breathe. And I'm going to put that up so people know what we're doing here. So if somebody joins, and by the way, feel free to share this with somebody, because somebody may be looking for this. Hey, good morning, Linda. I'm glad you're here. Did you take a moment? Did you pause and breathe? What's arising for you in this present moment? I saw off in the distance, I saw the wind blowing through the trees, heard the birds. I saw the one tree is already, the leaves are all like rust colored, like they're turning. When I first got here, I looked at I can't think of the vegetation in this moment, but this vegetation here was just like blowing in the wind. See the bird in the sky there, maybe a gull. And then I looked out here in the water. I was like, wow, it's dead calm. Look at that. But then the tide is actually on its way back in right now. You can see the sun shining on the opposite banks, peeking through the clouds. You can, if you look out in the center, you can see the water is kind of doing its thing, flowing. Off in the distance, you can see the city skyline. If you look really close, maybe I'll do a bonus video after for those of you. And I'll point you to last night. I was here doing some reconnaissance, and I saw we saw the sunset here, and it was miraculous. I want to point you. It's on my Facebook page. It's on my personal Facebook page. Amazing moment. I mean, amazing. The sun came. Just there was cloud cover. Sun just dropped, and maybe I'll add that to the bonus footage so I get some of that so you can see it. It was absolutely beautiful. But I want you to really dial into this is about you. It's about back to that courage. It's about the courage to embrace the unknown, the courage to embrace when we don't have the answers, when we can't put a label on it, when we can't figure out where we are at this stage in life, when and we feel like the thoughts want to come into the present moment and label it that it shouldn't be this way, it should be another way. And it's only in embracing this vacuum of not knowing, and I believe that's where God speaks to our soul. That's where the divine touches our soul, when we can step out of our own understanding. You know, it's in the texts. It's all there. It's all there for us. And all we need to do is allow. But allowing seems like a submittal, doesn't it? It seems like, well, if I allow, then I'm giving up. No, if you allow, you're not giving up. It's the intention behind it. It's willing to. Where do you find strength? In being vulnerable. That's where you find strength. It's when you're vulnerable. Where are you at your strongest? When you're asking for help. It's a paradox. It's a paradox, and that's why we are in the world, but we're not of the world, right? Oops, grab some of your comments here. So, um, it looks a beautiful place to connect and talk to the Father. Amen. It's vulnerability and strength. And one of the things that I try to do every show is just we do it on the Flashpoint show, and we do it here. It's just to highlight the. I'm back. I had a momentary blip there for those of you listening live. Usually on the playback, it'll cut that out. So I was sharing the hourglass here. I'm holding up the hourglass. Just let me know if you still can hear me, everybody. So we're doing this live. We're doing this mostly unscripted, and we trust what shows up. Just give me a nod in the chat that you can hear me. I want to welcome you in if you're just joining. Just give me a nod in the chat if you would, a thumbs up, something. This is the hourglass. Okay, thanks, Mandy. So the hourglass is just a reminder that, everything's happening now. It's unfolding, and that the sand that has fallen through, while it's valuable, we can't go back and change it. But a lot of us try to bring the image, the illusion of it into the present moment, thinking we can change it, but we can't. And then we try to maybe get ahead to this future grain of sand, and we cause ourselves a lot of stress because we're not up at this grain of sand. When I get to this grain of sand, then I'll be happy. Meanwhile, life's like, hey, here we are. The gifts and the diamond, I think Mandy referenced the diamond, is right now in the present moment as it unfolds. Ask for help. Ask for help. Ask for help. Ask for help. That's your strength. And the other thing I want to share with you, and I want to read something for you too. I'm going to go back and revisit something that I shared on an earlier episode. How do you feel, by the way? How do you feel? Right now, in this moment, how do you feel? If you're live, if you want to type that in, you can, and you don't have to. You could also just ask yourself, how do you feel right now in this moment? How do you feel during this time we've spent together? Is something unfolding? Do you have a new perspective? And it's important to say that you are expanding from this moment. You like my thing was, I'm going to get to that next moment. So presence and now didn't have a whole lot of value because I overemphasized the future moment, overvalued the future moment. And that's why I added this quote. And it's a practice, because at times you're going to worry about the future. At times you're going to think about the past, and it may cause you discontent. That's going to happen, everyone. This is life. But what this is about is making this a practice, because it's in this practice you're going to feel joy right now. You're going to feel love right now. You're going to feel it right now in this moment. You're going to know that the divine is in you, that there's nothing you need to do. You don't have to do anything, but be present first. That's the first victory. And it's so liberating, so freeing. You're free to be who you are. You can enjoy life now. Yes, you want to have a vision. Yes. The vision creates the enthusiasm, but being embraced in this moment creates joy. I appreciate when you ask for help. This is Mandy. When you ask for help to let go of fear, trust the process. Leave it in God's hands. Who's just feeling relieved? The last few days of anxiety for me, ego took over. Yeah, a helicopter coming overhead saying, that's the Power of Pure Presence show. Yes. The ego is crafty. The ego is crafty. And what I love, and this is the other thing I want to hit today, is that in quantum physics, what I've learned from quantum physics, and without going down the rabbit hole, pun intended, that the pure, when they study the smallest particles that we can identify, and we always feel like we've gotten the smallest particle, and then we discover something else, right? That's the way because no matter where you go, if you go out to the edges of the universe, it's infinity. If you go small, it's infinity, which that kind of wraps your head. Well, what do you mean? Isn't there? Well, you're never going to get to a point where you like this is the smallest particle, because that's an infinite world too. And maybe somewhere that transcends into spirit, but I'm not going to get into that right now. But the point of this is that when we've studied the brilliant minds that have lived, man has studied these small particles, what they came to through quantum physics, mainly the double slit theory, is that they understood that the observation of something changes its behavior. Pure observation, and this may be the reason why many of you came here today to get this. The pure observation of something changes it. Not judging it, which that can happen too, but what I'm saying is when we become aware of simply what's happening, we are now a part of that happening. And I believe my hallucination is that when we're in a state of pure observation, we create spaciousness for what is to manifest, like from the deepest place happens. We're not trying to manipulate the moment. We're allowing the moment, and then we can set an intention from a deeper place so that the truest, best, purposeful, heart-centered thing can unfold. Linda's feeling better than she did before. Well, that's important. It is an ongoing practice that evolves to higher levels. We're already 11 left. Good morning, TJ. I'm glad you're here. So we have about 11 minutes left, and I just want to point out this. We have this. This is I want to tie this into my thought, and we usually tie this in every show, is that this is a tumbler. It's a 30-ounce tumbler, right? I'm going to use this as the observation cup today. And the idea is that observation, if we can allow this moment, and we'll do it now, I want you to type in simply what you're observing in this moment. For example, I want you to think of your left foot right now. Focus on your left foot. Do you feel your left foot? Perhaps you feel both feet. What do you feel in your feet right now? Do you feel movement? Do you feel energy flowing? Do you have some pain there maybe? What do you feel? So what I want to do, I want you to observe everything that's happening in this moment, and imagine we're putting it in the cup. Even though the cup looks like it has a bottom, imagine that it doesn't. It holds an infinite. It can hold an infinite. What are you feeling right now? What are you observing right now? No judgment, pure observation. I hear crickets. I hear the wind blowing through the trees. So now, just type in what you're observing right now. So Sonny is saying, a bit sore. I feel blood flowing through my veins and my feet. I'm observing a sink full of dishes. Just observe. Release. Oh, wow. See this? This is AC on my neck. Observing my heart beating. What do you hear? I'm letting go. That was then, this is now. Live life fully now. You can feel the hair on your cheek. Just observing right now. That's it. I hear the river flow. Yeah. Hear it? Jeannie, you're right on time. You're right on time. I'm observing my big toe vibrating. Yeah. I know we're laughing, we're having fun, but this is it. I want to read this because I want to revisit this because this is a reminder for me too. So I picked up, this book has been like gold for me. This book here. And even on the back cover, like not even in the book, I'm going to read the back cover. Shared this before. And I love this. I got chills. Your inner purpose is to awaken. It is as simple as that. You share that purpose with every other person on the planet because it is the purpose of humanity. Your inner purpose is an essential part of the purpose of the whole, the universe and its emerging intelligence. Here's what I love. Your outer purpose can change over time. It varies greatly from person to person. Finding and living in alignment with the inner purpose is the foundation for fulfilling your outer purpose. It is the basis for true success. So, discontent, unhappiness, a lot of times, and there's good stress too. There's good stress. I'm not saying we're not trying to eliminate stress, but a lot of times our unnecessary discontent comes because we're not in alignment with who we really are. We're trying to align with some other thought or identity of someone else, and it disconnects, discontent. And then we're not in the present moment because we're caught up in the illusion of something else, and we live with a low level dis-ease, as I did. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough in this moment. Who I am, what I'm doing, how I feel, what I'm thinking is not good enough in this moment. So I need to fix that and get somewhere else. And think about how insane that is, and think about how subtle that is. It's subtle and insane. The way back to health and healing is to align with what's real right now. And the way to do that is what we just did. What are you observing in this moment? Where else would we start with the basic, simple things that God puts in front of us? No matter where we look, there's a sign, there's a nudge, there's a tap. And sometimes it's a scream and a smack in the face. Sometimes that happens too, because pain can be our greatest awakening. Because what we thought to be true based on egoic standards and identities begins to burn away, and what we're left with is what is real right now. That's it. What's the truth in this moment? And here's the one truth. The one truth. You want to give you, I'm going to give you the one truth right now that'll transcend everything with this few minutes we have left. Do you want me to share the bonus footage again? Let me know if you want me to share the bonus footage again. I am going to upload it on YouTube, but I have a couple minutes I can share it. You are. I am. That's it. You exist in this moment. You have the capacity to create. You have the capacity to heal. You have the capacity to love and to feel right now in this moment. I want to grab your shares. Sunny wants the bonus footage. I just want to allow this moment. I'm going to allow this moment. I'm going to put the bonus footage in there for you to enjoy after. We have 2 minutes left. I just want to give another shout out to our sponsor before we close out. Do that now. And she's got a book coming out that's going to give you all kinds of great tips for travel, etc. So I'm just going to allow this moment. I'm done. I love you much. I'm going to flip it around. We got like 2 minutes left. Just anchor it in. Just breathe. Just breathe and allow. Whatever happened here today was supposed to happen. I'm blessed. You're blessed. Let's just allow the moment. Thanks for being here, everyone. God bless you. Have a fantastic day. I'll see you next week for episode number 10 at another beautiful destination with more power of pure presence. God bless.